Okay, great. All right, let's get started. So, a couple of people here. You guys are welcome to join on camera if you like. You're welcome to stay off camera. Up to you guys. If you have any questions, you can certainly add them into the chat. And today we're talking a little bit about ERC, the Employee Retention Credit. And to just introduce myself, my name is Michael Glick. I work for a company called Bottom Line Concepts, and we are a firm that's been in existence since 2009. Our focus for the majority, about 13 years, and still continues today, is government aid, tax recovery, and cost savings analysis for Fortune 500, 1,000 businesses. In early 2021, we came upon ERC, the Employee Retention Credit, and it represented an opportunity to help the small and medium-sized business with, one of the greatest programs that has really come out of the CARES Act, and we'll talk a little bit of that as well. So we've been super successful in helping thousands. I think at this point we're in the 25, 30,000 business mark as far as filing for ERC. And our focus is a conservative, ethical filing in which we help the clients understand their path to qualification and help them navigate all the nuances to the program. So with that said, give me a moment. I'm going to share my screen. So bear with me one second. And I want to play you a short video, a couple of videos, but I'm going to short. First, start with one. Okay, all right now, thank you.
Hi, I'm Sarah, a tax professional at Bottom Line Concepts. Today, I'm excited to share with you some information regarding the Employee Retention Credit, also known as the ERC. The ERC was introduced under the CARES Act and offers eligible businesses a refundable tax credit for retaining employees or covering healthcare expenses during the challenging times of the COVID-19 pandemic. This credit can have a significant financial impact for your business. Depending on your eligibility, you could potentially receive up to $5,000 per employee in 2020 and up to $7,000 per employee per quarter in 2021 through the first 3 quarters. To put it in perspective, we've helped businesses with various employee sizes capture substantial credits, such as over $235,000 for a business with 20 employees and over $1.1 million for a business with 130 employees. Claiming the ERC involves a few straightforward steps. First, we will meet to educate you on the ERC program, understand your business and your eligibility. Then you will complete VLC's COVID Impact Questionnaire. We then work together to gather and organize your payroll and healthcare expenses. Based on the information collected and in adherence to IRS guidelines, we'll calculate the credit amount you're eligible for. We will then help you file the necessary tax forms with the IRS, such as Form 941X, to ensure you receive credit. At BLC, we've been in business since 2009 and have a proven track record assisting employers in accessing available funding to support their businesses. Our mission is to educate and help small businesses like yours realize savings in a transparent, ethical, quality, and compliant manner, helping you reinvest in your business and your future. We're here to support you every step of the way. Contact us today to unlock the full potential of the Employee Retention Credit with Bottom Line Concepts.
Okay, great. So yeah, just a little bit, just wanted to show you a little bit about ERC and Bottom Line. I see we have one more person that's joined as well. So let's talk about the Employee Retention Credit, right? It comes out of the CARES Act, same as the PPP program. And originally, a business had to choose between either ERC or PPP. You could not take both forms of stimulus. And pretty much everybody decided to choose PPP as it was more substantial. It was a loan from the bank that would be forgiven as long as you spent the money that was given on payroll, rent, and utilities. ERC, on the other hand, was less, and it was a little more difficult to qualify. But in early 2021, the new administration made several changes to the CARES Act legislation, allowing for businesses to file for both PPP and ERC. Both programs do use the same wages to compute, and you can't double dip, so that if you did PPP, any of those wages need to be removed from the calculation for ERC. Another change they made was that originally the law was meant for businesses up to 100 W-2 employees in 2020, and in 2021 that was expanded up to 500 W-2. So again, changes in legislation, originally making it a little more challenging if you were going to pursue ERC, and that softened a little bit in 2021 when the program was expanded. So there are two specific ways to qualify for ERC as a business. And I'm going to play you a short video as well with that as well. But effectively, you can get up to $26,000 per employee, per W-2 employee. Those numbers are 5,000 in 2020 total per maximum per employee, and 7,000 per employee for the first 3 quarters of 2021. So that equals 26. On average, a business is going to get about $8,000 to $10,000 per employee. If they took PPP loans, we have to deduct out any wages used for those. There was up to 2 being taken. And everything with ERC is done on a quarterly basis, a quarterly analysis. So if you are, and let me play this video and I'll explain a little bit more about qualifications. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me share my screen. Over here.
Hi, I'm James, a tax professional at Bottom Line Concepts. Let's dive into the next step of understanding the Employee Retention Credit, determining your business's eligibility. To qualify for the ERC, eligible businesses must meet one of 2 criteria. The first is a significant drop in gross receipts, which refers to your business revenue. You can determine if your business meets this requirement by comparing your gross receipts from a calendar quarter in 2020 or 2021 to the same quarter in 2019. For a quarter in 2020, the gross receipts must have declined by more than 50% compared to the corresponding quarter in 2019. In 2021, the required decline threshold changed to more than 20%. For example, let's say your business had gross receipts of $100,000 in the second quarter of 2019. If the gross receipts in the second quarter of 2020 were less than $50,000, your business would qualify for the ERC in that period. Similarly, if the gross receipts in the second quarter of 2021 were less than $80,000, your business would qualify for the ERC in that quarter. The second is if your business was negatively impacted by a government-ordered suspension, whether full or partial, which required your business to shut down, modify, or reduce its operations. This typically results from federal, state, or local government mandates. Some examples include restaurants with limitations on indoor dining capacity, hotels mandated to close their facilities, or manufacturing companies with reduced warehousing operations or hours of operation. There are various scenarios that could potentially qualify, depending on the specific government orders and their impact on your business. Each situation is unique, and we understand that you may have questions. Remember, at Bottom Line Concepts, we are here to provide the guidance and support you need to navigate the ERC and understand your credit eligibility. At Bottom Line Concepts, our mission is to educate and help small businesses like yours realize savings, helping you reinvest in your business and your future.
Okay, awesome. So again, there are 2 specific ways to qualify. One is quantitative. It is financial. It is a decrease in gross revenues comparing quarters in 2020 and 21 to comparable quarters in 2019. The other is called a full or partial suspension due to government orders. And a lot of businesses can qualify based upon this partial suspension. And what that means is if government orders limited a business's ability to do commerce, group meetings, and travel in a similar way to the way they operated in 2019, they can qualify. If they experience what they defined as a nominal impact to their operations, they can qualify. And how they define this nominal impact is a 10% or more shift in how they operated the business compared to 2019. So as in the video, when you talk about a restaurant example, restaurants were forced to close indoor dining. They pivoted to curbside and outdoor tables. When they came inside, reduced capacity, so 50%, then 25%, social distancing, personal protective equipment. And these were all mandated by government orders. And therefore, even if they didn't lose money, or even if they possibly did well because maybe they had a to-go model, they could still qualify under this partial suspension. And there are many different types of businesses that can qualify, manufacturing, doctor's office, veterinarians, colleges, universities, healthcare, retail. But again, what we are looking for if you're interested in talking to Bottom Line is we want to have a meeting with you for 15 to 30 minutes. We want to understand your business, understand your impacts. We're not here to tell you that you qualify. We're here to listen to you, to understand your impacts and show you a path to qualification, and then help collect documentation in order to eventually file an amendment to your 941s. And once those are submitted to the IRS, it will trigger this refund to your payroll. So ERC is a payroll refund that never needs to be paid back. There are no restrictions on how you can use the funds. Again, available to any business that retained W-2 employees during 6 quarters of the pandemic. That's quarters 2, 3, and 4 in 2020, and quarters 1, 2, and 3 in 2021. So partial suspension, we will only file for the first 5 quarters. And that is because most states release their government orders at the end of June 30th of 2021. So if there's a partial suspension and no revenue reduction, we'll focus on those 5 quarters and help to understand your full refund. That 3rd quarter of 2021 is required for Bottom Line to make sure that there was some sort of revenue decrease, that 20% revenue decrease compared to 2019. All right. So again, we are a conservative firm, and we are listening to our clients, and we are making sure that we are getting them exactly what they are eligible for, nothing more. In addition to that, some other information about ERC, and then I'll share a little bit more information. But ERC, just like any IRS filing, can be audited up until 3 years of the date that it was filed with the IRS. We don't expect a large audit rate, and by working with a reputable firm such as Bottom Line will severely decrease the chances of what they call a red flag audit. But of course, there can always be a random selection audit. And if that's the case, then we stand by our client's side. We help represent them with the IRS, provide any documentation that the IRS is requesting. And we even go one step forward that we guarantee our fee. And we'll talk about how our system works. We work on a contingency fee basis. There are no charges to the business until they are funded by the IRS. The second thing is that ERC is a payroll refund. There are some tax consequences when it comes to ERC, different from the PPP program, which was a loan from the bank that was forgiven. ERC is a payroll refund, which means they're giving you a certain amount of money back from your payroll expenditures from 2000 and/or 2021. That means that you're going to lose the deduction you took during that time period. That will create a positive flow of income to the bottom line, and therefore there might be a tax event with that, meaning there might be taxes due with this adjustment to your final returns from 2020, 2021. You would most likely need to file an amendment with your CPA or your financial advisor to account for that deduction. But these are large numbers. Again, a business with 2 PPP loans may expect about 8 to 10,000. 1 PPP loan maybe 11 to 13,000. So these are large numbers, and even with the tax consequences, this is a refund that can be very helpful and well past any sort of consequences due to taxes. So I see a question in there. So any business with W-2 employees can possibly qualify. We need to understand the 2 measures, the financial aspect of the decline in quarterly revenue, or the impacts that they had. So the question is this for childcare? So absolutely, if there was a business that you had that was a childcare facility, there were many changes that business needed to make. with respect to how they, brought kids in. They're not allowing people into the premises, social distancing, personal protective equipment, maybe a switch to remote for a certain period of time in which they couldn't do similar things. Maybe they had to shut down their group lunches, had to hold meetings outside. So there are plenty of ways that a business like that can qualify. We're not here to say that one specific industry does qualify. We want to get you to a call with one of our advisors, and I'll tell you how to do that in just a moment. So again, the goal here is, if you're a business and you want to learn more about how you can qualify for ERC, is to schedule an appointment with Bottom Line. So I'm going to give you a few ways to do that. And just again, to reiterate, we do not charge anything up front. We charge on a contingency fee basis. It's based upon the size of the business. We'll discuss that once we get you on the phone to have a meeting with you and your company. But effectively, we want a meeting with you, 15 to 30 minutes, talk all about ERC, understand your impacts, and explain to you how you can qualify. And then if you like what you're hearing, you think we're the right firm for you, you'll sign up an agreement with us. And then we move on to document collection, in which we provide a portal to collect first an eligibility report. Give me 1 second, bottomlinesavings.com, just putting my email in the chat. So again, the first, we start with this eligibility report. It is a long questionnaire. It takes about 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes. Basic information, lots of information, yes or no questions about how you were affected by the pandemic, and then an area to be descriptive about your impacts, and you'll learn more about that on the call. And then everything from your 941s, your payroll journals, your quarterly payroll, your quarterly revenue reporting, and your PPP forgiveness applications. We take all that information. We first put it with our tax attorneys to ensure we feel you qualify. We then have the numbers run by our certified accountants. We come back to you with an ERC refund to the penny. And then at that point, you sign off on what's called an attestation, saying you understand how you qualify, as well as the 941X. And then once we submit to the IRS, it takes them about 3 to 6 months to first return a letter confirming each quarter. And then about a week later, they send you checks directly to your business address. And then once you get those checks, you make a copy of them, you send them to us, you deposit those checks, and then we send you an invoice for our contingency fee. So the process, we try to make it as simple as possible. We try to be as educational as possible to make sure that you understand every aspect of the program and feel comfortable throughout the entire process. It does take a little bit of time for the IRS to process, takes about 3 to 6 months. Bear with me 1 second as I just find, hold on 1 second. I want to put something else inside the chat. If there are any questions, please put them into the chat. Or if you'd like to just unmute and ask the question, that would be great as well. I'm just finding something for everybody here. 1 second. So in addition to reaching out to me personally through email, and that's my pleasure to help you, you can also go on to the link that I provided here as well. And I'll just show you this link in just a moment and share my screen. Okay. So the link I provided is an area in which you can go ahead and sign up for a call with one of our advisors, right? So if you were to press get started or qualify now, and if you take a look at this link, tremendous information, some of the videos that I played you before, all about ERC, all about Bottom Line, testimonials from previous clients. There's lots of them, how it works. So really a lot of information all about us. But if you press qualify at any point, you'll sign up for a call by choosing the number of employees, picking your language, and then going through the motions of picking a date and a time that works for you. And then once you do that, let's say we're doing today at 1:00 p.m., you put all of your information in here, number of W-2 employees, no letters or dash, just one number, 5 or more. We do have a minimum of 5 W-2 employees that we work with. So once you fill all this out, you will sign up for a call with one of our advisors, and we try to make it as simple as possible. So 2 ways. 1, use my email, michael@bottomlinesavings.com, to reach out to me directly. Let me know you're interested. I'll share a calendar. And then the other way, you can go into the link, check out the information, and you can go ahead and schedule an appointment on your own. So somebody asked about, can you show an example of a significant drop in gross receipts? So let's take quarter 1 of 2021, right? compared to quarter one of 2019. You need to show a 20% reduction in gross revenue. So a 20% reduction in gross revenue per quarter to qualify for each quarter in 2021. And then, so if you did 100,000 and now you did 75,000 in 2021, then obviously you can qualify on the financial merits. Okay. And again, I see somebody, if somebody wants to speak directly to me, please email me, michael@bottomlinesavings.com. I can either, we'll set an appointment. I'll share my calendar with you, and I'm happy to discuss with you to see how we can help you with the process. So just in recap a little bit here. So I am I work for Bottom Line. I'm an executive with Bottom Line. But I'm also a client, right? Kind of like those old haircut for men commercials. So I was actually one of the first clients for Bottom Line for ERC. I had 2 restaurants, one which I shuttered during the pandemic, and the other is still open, and in large part to ERC. The business that's still open today had about 15 W-2 employees. I got back about $154,000. And we do tell you that you can expect an average of $10,000 back per employee if you do qualify. So I understand how this program works from a client side. And I also understand, obviously, I've become an expert on this and as far as ERC and how it works. And I just want to reiterate that there are lots of choices out there of who you can use to file for ERC. You want to be very careful with who you choose to work with. There are a lot of newer firms that really are just ERC firms that have popped up, and you want to be careful. You're not sure necessarily where they're doing their accounting work, if they're outsourcing, and also if they're going to be around when we get to the end of the audit process and through the audit process. Bottom Line's been here since 2009, so we're a 15-year-old firm, and ERC is just one of the many tax recovery programs that we work with clients, and we plan to be here for many more to come. So we are here, a long-standing firm, and we will help you navigate all of this. So, and really, unless there's any other questions, that's really it. ERC is a great opportunity for any business that had a negative impact due to the pandemic. And we are here to help you guys understand how you may or may not qualify. And again, if you also had interest where you might know other businesses that might be interested, we can help you with that as well. So again, Michael@bottomlinesavings.com. Thank you so much for joining this webinar today. You guys know how to reach me. You know how to sign up either through my email or through the link that I provided, and hopefully looking forward to hearing from some of you. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much, and looking forward to discussing in the future. Bye-bye, everybody.